Welcome to Brand You.
The ultimate personal branding podcast.
I'm Caz Grant.
And I'm Toby Lee.
Together, we're here to help demystify personal branding
and to make it accessible and effective for everyone.
Follow along as we guide you through creating your own personal branding journeys.
So, let's get started.
Let's brand you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Brand You podcast, proudly sponsored by Spark House, a brilliant co-working and office space here in Lincoln, where we film the podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Caz and her experience with personal branding, because not many people will know this because you're very good at keeping your audiences sort of slightly separate, but people probably wouldn't know that you have 3 businesses on the go. So first of all, talk us through where did this sort of come from? How did this come about?
Yeah, sure. So this is the thing, isn't it? So one of the things that I try not to do with my personal brand is to confuse people. And I know I've got quite a lot of things going on in my world, and as a human as well, we've all got lots going on. So I do try and spread it out a bit. So first of all, I run a personal branding agency called Quirk. And that is the main business, the main crux of it, what we're trying to get off the ground and just build over the next few years so that we're bigger, helping more people with their own personal brands, and really helping people shine online, but in alignment to who they are, and that works for their ideal audience as well. So that's the number one thing. So mostly I share that on LinkedIn and Instagram a little bit as well. And then also one of the founders to Quirk is Marketing Labs, which are a digital marketing agency. So instead of helping individuals personally brand and shine online, they help businesses, and they help businesses as a whole with all of their digital marketing. So whatever digital marketing needs they have, we will help them, again, spread their message online. So those two are quite cool because they kind of tie in together. A lot of people that I speak to with Quirk or with Marketing Labs might need one of the other services depending on, again, their business, their goals, their objectives. So that's quite an easy one to kind of, kind of bounce around, and also to show online. And again, I mainly put that across on LinkedIn as well. So those are my 2 things. Basically, if you want to shine online, come see me, let's chat.
Yeah.
Digital marketing might be for you, personal branding might be for you, or neither.
and whilst your clients, you can kind of push towards either business, do the businesses have any collaboration on anything, or are they just sort of kept separate at this point because of their focus being on the individual and then more business focused?
Separate at the moment, but again, it depends. So some people that we're working with need business marketing, first of all. They haven't got a website, they haven't got any kind of online footprint. So we'll get them set up for that first. Yeah. Maybe getting some ads out and getting some instant sales wins. If that's their main goal with their whole presence is sales, growing their business, digital marketing route first. And then we'll look at 5-10 years down the line, what are your actual personal goals? Nice. Oh, right, you want to be a thought leader in that space, in that industry. Yes, your business is a part of that, but actually you want to create your own kind of ecosystem there online as well. Right, well then let's look at the personal branding later down the line.
Yeah.
And we'll always work with them at the point in time that's right for that to come in. Likewise, they might not be clear on their personal brand, and they might be a service-based business or something where, that instant trust and recognition and the collaborations that you're going to make is more important than necessarily the sales instantly.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So then we might direct them to personal branding, but then along the way, might be oh, well, I need a website, I need this, I need some ads. Let's integrate that into it as well. So yeah, they cross over quite well. And it's nice to be able to offer businesses and people those 2 elements.
Yeah.
Because there's not one size fits all for everyone.
Yeah. So then the third part of the Caz Enterprise.
Caz Enterprise, I'm going to keep that one. That's brilliant. The third part is a network marketing business as well. So that came first.
Right, okay.
That was in the mix before either of these came into the mix. So that's kind of my initial baby. And almost that step into the entrepreneurial business world, because before the network marketing business, I wouldn't have even thought that I would be a business person But I just wouldn't have put myself in that bracket. Like, no way, not me, no.
Yeah, yeah.
So my upbringing was very much like mum and dad had jobs and they went and they worked jobs and they came home and then they paid the bills and blah, 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 jobs. So there was no like entrepreneurial family background or like, you know, I wasn't selling lemonade on a corner. I was getting pocket money based off of the jobs that I do around the house. You know, I wasn't that way inclined.
It's a bit different to me there, where I would offer to wash my mum and dad's car and then give them an invoice after.
See, and I think that's
I was always thinking.
And do you know what? I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs now who have their own businesses, that it did stem from that very first, like you were invoicing your mum and dad for the car wash and stuff.
They thought, what a great child we've raised here, offering on a Saturday afternoon to clean the cars for us. Oh, what's this?
And you're like, bill comes through the post. But they would you know, your dad's got an entrepreneurial background.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've obviously learned that
watching
from
and learning,
Yeah. And those are great skills to have, aren't they? Like, incredible. If you pass lead that way, or if you can open that path and that interests you, go for it. But so my background was military.
So very different.
Completely different. I learned to wear what I was told to wear, be where I was told to be, and just do what they told me to do for 12 years. Like, almost the opposite of entrepreneurial. So it's taken me a long time to kind of, first of all, I was in for 12 years. So that's 12 years of that kind of conditioning and, like, you know, just that way of being. And then I left and I got a couple of normal jobs on the outside. And again, it was like that first step into like Civvy Street and this world of like, oh, other people that I'm working for have businesses and they started them themselves. And it gets your head turning, doesn't it? And I think with one of the first jobs that I got was a fundraiser for a children's charity. And that was the initial point where I thought, I have to raise money for this charity. If I don't raise money for this charity is going to close its doors. And I thought, well, how do I do that? Like, I need to get out there. I need to get the charity out there. And I'm probably going to have to be the one that gets the charity out there.
Sure, yeah.
So it kind of like pushed me into this space that, you know, to almost save the children.
Yeah.
I was having to do the uncomfortable things that would grow that presence and your own presence within the community as well. So like starting networking and going to in-person networking events and stepping onto social media, because for years in the RAF, social media was like, I do not go on. Like,
really,
top secret. If we let everybody go on social media in the beginning days of social media in the military, it's like, what are they going to share?
Yes.
What are they going to tell the world? Like, all this stuff's going to come out. So it was very much like, don't go on it. Just don't showcase anything. So if you like, I scroll back to my beginning of Facebook now and I look, it's like a status of like, I'm so tired. Like, ridiculous. And that's it. Yeah. There was no personal branding strategy back there. It was literally like, I'm on Facebook. I'm not really supposed to put much on there, but I am tired because I've just got back from Afghan. And I know I can pinpoint that. So that's when I got back from my detachment. And I was like, so that was like as much as I was allowed to, I thought that I could share back then.
Interesting.
It's so interesting.
So then when you were working your charity job, and that was what kind of encouraged you to kind of get out there and start networking with businesses, was that easier to do on behalf of a charity? Because you're talking about the cause, aren't you? You're not there selling Caz or selling your services particularly. So you're kind of talking about something external that everyone should care about or feel something about. Was that easier than when you started pushing your own services?
1,000%. Yeah. If you often do more and get out of your own comfort zone, your own way more for something else or someone else than you will do for yourself. Something I've learned over the last few years, actually. What drives me and pushes me to do the scary stuff is often not because I have to for me. Someone else needs me to, or the charity needs me to, or the founders of Quirk are going to be watching, so I need to do it for them. And all that stuff kind of drives me more than me doing it for me, which is interesting, isn't it? And something to consider if that sounds like our audience, because how do you motivate yourself to do the things without having maybe that external is a children's charity is a big one, isn't it? You're like, well, I need to do this. And it was things like just little things, but So it's like the little things that you don't realise at the time are going to push you out of your comfort zone to eventually learn the skills that you'll need like 10 years down the line. So I can think of a specific time where it was about 8 years ago now. I walked into a corporate office in Nottingham, and as the sole fundraiser for the children's charity, like they were our biggest corporate sponsors at the time.
Right,
like this
okay.
was a huge deal and a huge like contract to have. So every time I went in there, even though they were amazing and they were just the loveliest people, I'd be like, imposter syndrome kicking
Yeah.
off. Anyway, they said, right, Caz, welcome back to the office, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to give you a tour round and introduce you to some people. And then it'd be great if you could just say a few words, like 5 minutes or so, of what our support means to the charity and things. Everyone's going to tours down and they're all going to come and join us to watch you.
Oh, wow.
This is an office space, must have had minimum a couple of hundred, maybe more people in it.
Wow. Okay.
So I used to, in the RAF, hide from public speaking. I hated it when I got promoted to corporal because I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to start speaking and I'm going to have to like go and learn and do a presentation. And I hated every second of it. But there I was in this corporate partner, like, there is no option B. This is on me. I'm going to have to do it. Suck it up, buttercup. Like, this is it. So I did it and it happened. And you know your stuff anyway from being a fundraiser. So you know the buzzwords, you know all the things that you're doing. So it rolled off and I did it and I survived. Nothing bad happened. Phew. And then I went home and I was really proud of myself and I was like, oh, that's okay. And then the more times that kind of happened and the more public speaking like that happened, I guess that's what sort of led to today now as well, when people watch us and things that we're doing and they maybe watch me on a stage giving a presentation at Mission Business the other day. It was about 120 people in the audience, military, non-military, all kinds of backgrounds. And again, I was like, out of my depth.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for those initial things. So I think sometimes we underestimate those small steps in our personal brand for getting us comfortable for the biggest steps later down the line.
Yeah, it can be really easy to kind of aim for the sky, try and, really project yourself, but actually, like you say, you've got to have that. I guess like anything with business, isn't it? You've got to have that foundation, that structure in place in order to succeed. Some people, it does come easy to.
Yeah.
They can just put themselves out there and with an idea that's fresh and new and it works and it comes across authentic and they are likable and but sometimes we need to work a little more at it and that's okay.
Yeah. And
Just being okay with it.
It's being okay with it, yeah. And know that you sucking at the beginning or like maybe not being as polished and great will lead to you being that level down the line. But you won't get to that down the line unless you do these bits. So you got to, haven't you? Have you found that with your acting career? Because acting to me would be like...
Yeah, so I think it goes back to what you were saying about with the charity stuff being external. It's a lot easier to kind of communicate and sell almost or to talk about and lead a conversation on. Whereas with acting, like networking, networking and acting in a sense was horrible. You were kind of expected to turn up to press nights, try and meet directors, try and meet producers, try and get those awkward conversations going. But all the other actors are doing it as well. So you're in a bar full of kind of like people fishing almost. It's like slowly walking over to try and start a conversation. It's so different now. Like I don't have any problems talking about myself or what I do or how I do it or my services because I don't know, I guess one, I really believe in what I do, but also there's the evidence there in my photos that it's kind of like that speaks for me almost. Whereas unfortunately acting, my career was so premature that I didn't have the credits or the show reel of films to show for it. But it's an interesting one.
It is interesting, and that's interesting because it's like all those people in that room pouncing on the same people.
Yeah.
And you see it at networking today, don't you? And again, you see it online and in networking today. And that's, again, what you're trying to counteract with your personal brands. Stop pouncing on the same people and just spread a bit of like your personality and a bit wider and show a bit more human, and the right people will be more attracted to you than pouncing on.
Yeah, well, I think I understand now, like, about having something to offer. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're in a conversation, a networking sense with people you've never met before, you don't have to agree with everything they say. You don't have to kind of just go, oh wow, that's great to everything they say. But you also don't need to disagree with them. It's just about contributing something of your own into the mix. Do you know what I mean? That's what I find is a good balance for building relationships. But
Absolutely. And it was interesting when you said as well about the doing it for other people or for something else, because I think that's a good thing to touch on as well, because with our personal brands, it's our personal.
Yes, yeah.
And we're going to have to do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
And actually, this probably isn't for anybody else. So when you do lose the consistency, when you do go missing in action for a few months, it's easy because it's you that you're letting down, or you're not doing it for. We don't mind letting ourselves down, do we?
Yeah.
But it's finding that accountability and that voice almost, and offering that value so that it's not self-promotional and just like me and this. It's a value to people. So it's important that we share it.
Yeah.
And then also keeping yourself accountable to keep going when there's nobody on your back going, keep this going.
Yeah. We've all got big ideas for where we want to be in 3-5 years' time, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we've got to look at what we're doing day to day and go, is that actually on track? Or if we're hiding now, there's no way we're going to be there further down the line. So it's just doing those little bits, isn't it? And just pushing ourselves out a little bit more.
If you're starting a business or just want a space that helps you focus and grow, then you will want to check out Spark House at the University of Lincoln.
It's right in the heart of the city with creative energy and practical support.
They've got flexible office spaces, specialist business mentoring with physical tenancies.
And they even have virtual office options if you're not quite ready for a full-time desk.
Having supported over 1,000 businesses since opening, Spark House has a track record for helping startups succeed.
If you need an office space in Lincoln, email sparkhouse@lincoln.ac.uk and check out the show notes for that email address to get in touch. So going back to your 3 businesses, your Caz empire, how did you sort of accumulate those roles amongst those? And also in terms of that process, when another opportunity comes along, how did that change what you were already doing to implement the new, and how's that process been?
Sure. So first of all, there's only kind of 2 in the enterprise, and one I'm kind of like, I've infiltrated. I'll get to that in a minute. But so when I was networking for the children's charity and I was getting out and about, the first thing that I came across that dipped me into that entrepreneurial way of thinking was I went to a women's networking group, and I was sat there next to somebody who did network marketing. And I was like, interesting. Because I was sat in a room with lots of other women who had their own businesses. And my brain was almost in that room thinking, wow, like these people have all got their own thing. Like, how would I ever get my own? Maybe I could do something, because they had their own thing, and it was all in alignment as well with what they were and who they were, like you.
That's interesting.
I just think you fit so well with your brand, and you're in alignment with it so much that it works really well. So it was like being in a room, if you were a woman, with lots of other Toby women. And it was like, I was so interested. So when Claire next to me said, oh, this is what I do, I'd love to tell you about it at some point. I was like, let's grab a drink outside of here. Let's go and hear more about it. So I heard more about it, and it was that initial intro into the network marketing space. Now, the network marketing space is, you have your own business for it, but it's for an overarching brand. So you're like an independent advisor, consultant, whatever, for that brand. But it's your business. So you do whatever you do with it. You grow it if you want to. You don't grow it if you don't want to. Any advertisements or anything, it's all on you to get the message out there. It's not on anybody else. You can't pay for ads and things like that. So you need to start a personal brand. So I took a look. At first I was like, well, you should tell me about this. And it didn't kind of like, it It didn't compute, but then again, that was my initial look into it. I didn't know what I know now. A little while later, I was working at a different place, and it wasn't quite. I'd gone kind of almost backwards. When I got married, I took a part-time role as a receptionist at a beautician's.
Right.
That's not a step backwards for some, but for me, it was a step backwards. It was a part-time role. It was just something so that I could get a bit of spending money and have time to support my husband at the time.
Yeah.
So that was all it needed to be, and I was happy with that. Also got lots of free treatments, which was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was great. But while I was there, I guess that fire that had been started by being in that room of all those other women and seeing other business people, I was like, I'm not fulfilling my potential here at all. And there's more to life than this. So I want to do something. So I got back in touch with Claire and I started the network marketing business. That was 7 years ago this year. So I've had that business for quite a long time. Is it where I want it to be? No, it's like a business and it's all on me. There's nobody else motivating me. So it has been like that. And I've been through an absolute roller coaster with it. But the more I've gone along with it, the more it's aligned to who I am. So it's within the health and wellness space, just like you. We go to the gym and we live a relatively healthy wellness lifestyle. It's important to us. It's at my core. It's like, and I want to help others do that as well. So it just aligns really well. And actually, from that, because I had been personally branding, stepping online, showing up consistently, networking, I'd met someone, again, when I was initially networking for the children's charity, who then came to me with an idea of Quirk. And I was like, okay, out the blue, completely random. You never know what opportunities are out there when you are showing up.
Yeah.
You literally don't have a clue, because I'd been made redundant from another role and I'd written down on a piece of paper, like, what do I actually want to do? And there's no, like, be a doctor, be a musician, like, I don't know that. But there were things like work remotely, work with people, all these little things like that don't add up to one specific thing. But actually, when I look at that list now, I'm like, Quirk aligns.
Yeah.
And because I was visible and because I'd got clear on what I wanted, this opportunity just kind of came along. So started Quirk. They got me into Quirk because, there's 3 founders to Quirk. And they are busy with their own businesses, doing their own thing. And they haven't got time to start another business, but they had the idea and they had the funding to start another business. So they got me in to essentially build Quirk and get it up and running and off the ground and go. And they are there to support me should I ever need it, which is, again, from somebody without a proper entrepreneurial background, there's still an element of me personally where I like that support's there.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a piece of Quirk's pie. I've got the flexibility and the freedom to grow it and have all these ideas and run it how I want to run it. But they're there should I ever need that sounding board or that advice or what should we do? So that's the other thing. So we've
Sometimes
got
I'd love that.
I know,
just
right?
having someone with you or above you to just go, is this the right thing here that I'm doing or wanting to do? You know, just to give you that boost of confidence sometimes. Isn't it?
And do you know what? That's all it really is, actually, that boost of confidence. Because most of the time, they're like, what do you think? Or that sounds great, go for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So this is what owning a business is like. You just actually have an idea and it aligns with stuff and then you go for it. Whoa. Okay, let's do it. But that's cool. So Quirk was doing that. One of the other founders of Quirk is Marketing Labs, so the digital marketing agency. So that's where I'm an imposter. So I don't own Marketing Labs. I've just been taken on board by Marketing Labs a couple of days a week now. So Quirk isn't quite at full capacity yet with clients.
Right.
So yes, you can always work on a business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even if you have no clients, because you could do all the marketing in the world and all the stuff to try and get everything through. But what we've done is, because they need help with their business as well, in the way that I can do it, the client person, they've got me in a couple of days a week to do that.
Nice.
While still giving me time to do Quirk as well. And again, that can be quite flexible. So it depends on the workload of client work that we've got. I can do a bit more of that on those days or a bit more of that on other days. So that's quite cool. So those are the 3. But without the network marketing, without, going into Cibby Street, I wouldn't have gone networking and the fundraising world, I wouldn't have gone networking, I wouldn't have started to put myself out there. That then has grown all of these opportunities like 8 years later. So again, when people are thinking about their personal brands, they're thinking about instant wins and like, why haven't I got all these opportunities straight away? I've been personally branding for a month. This has all happened 8 years later.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, 8 years later, I'm out there a lot more than I was even 8 years before, but there still takes time for those opportunities to roll through. And I was speaking to someone this morning as well, and they had a comment on my post, and it was about service-based business needs personal branding because you've got to grow trust and stuff. But if it's a product-based business, you probably don't actually need personal branding. And I was like, no, that's cool for a business point of view. But what if your goal with your personal brand isn't to make sales?
Yeah.
What if your goal for your personal brand is to get future investments to your business, investors?
Great point, yeah.
What if it's to get professional friendships?
Yeah.
Because you could do with some more friends in your life. What if the goal is to create some charity endeavours that you then make a huge impact to the world? So again, it's looking at your goal with personal branding.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we think personal branding, sales.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's not always the case, is it?
Interesting. So that's all we've got time for on today's episode of the Brand New Podcast, proudly sponsored once again by Sparkhouse.
Make sure you follow the Brand New Podcast on LinkedIn, where we've got a separate community group so you can ask any of your personal branding questions, and also make sure to follow along with myself and Toby on LinkedIn as well.
Here's to branding you.